Hello, hello, and welcome to Show Up, Stand Out, an online visibility expert series for entrepreneurs. And I am absolutely delighted to present you today my wonderful guest, Melanie Falvey. Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Juliet. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm absolutely delighted, guys, because Melanie is a very special person. We've had she's had a huge contribution to the way my videos look recently. Melanie is a backdrop stylist. This is a very interesting thing, and I didn't know what it really means. I kind of thought maybe, what is it? And we connected, and I had a session with Melanie, and absolutely after that she absolutely changed my life. Melanie, just to our guests, introduce yourself in a couple of words, and just tell us what the backdrop stylist is in your own words, and just a little bit about yourself.
Right, yes, I'll happily do that. Well, the thing is, I sort of invented my name because this didn't exist. It doesn't actually exist. I mean, I had to make up what I'm doing right now. And it all came about because about 2 years ago, I saw so many people going live doing video content. It was maybe webinars at the time, mostly courses. And people were not paying attention to what's behind them. What's behind them is the backdrop. And the thing is, you always have a backdrop. Whether you're aware of it or not, there's always a backdrop because it's just a physical fact. You always have something behind you. So it makes such a difference when you actually optimize it because it can do so much for you. It can do so much for your message. So that's when I decided to bring all my education and all my background together. And I just created my own cocktail.
What is your background? What is your background? What are the elements?
Well, initially I was a teacher for many years. I'm the linguist. So I think my love for language comes from there. And actually, stylist and design and backdrops is just another form of language, just visual language.
Yes.
So that was my beginning, years ago. And then I became a wedding designer. So that's a whole new thing. And I became a floral artist. So I studied design and all that. That led me on to train as an interior designer. And that's what I've been doing for the last 12 years. But now what I've been doing is I've created a system that combines psychology, buyer, seller psychology, design, styling, motivational studies, because my thesis at university was on motivation. So I'm huge on motivation and on having motivational triggers around your workspace because it can really make a difference. And so I decided to invent my new job.
You
so
have no idea.
What I do is I optimize backdrops so that they amplify messages, so that they can act as a marketing, communication, and branding tool. And you can really tell who's paying attention to their backdrop and who isn't.
That is so true, guys. I'm so delighted because I was one person who, I think that I paid attention to the backdrop, but even though I consider myself visual, but I would never be able to work as a stylist. It's the same in food, I will appreciate good food. I have this whole, I'd be a great food critic. But you ask me what herbs go with what meat or anything when you're cooking, I actually don't cook at all because I just burn pots. So it's the same with styling. And I'm going to reveal this. I'm going to show you the picture of my backdrop that I thought that I've styled before I met Melanie. Let me just show you this. So there it is. So I had this huge, overpowering kind of yellow wall and all these different colors, pictures, and I had my, you could see my shelves with all the books, and it was kind of pretty much all over the place, and you can see how nice and clean it is. And if any of you check out my website, you will see that this background actually makes so much sense with the way I designed my website. I'm actually much better with designing websites than I can do that, but styling the interior for some reasons I can't. So this is very funny. What are the biggest mistakes that people are making if they are trying to pay attention, or maybe they don't pay attention? What are the biggest mistakes you reckon?
Okay, well, there's, exactly what you said. Two kinds of people. People who are not aware of the backdrop. So you see the most incredible things, the most shocking things, I should say. Like, I've seen laundry behind people, and I mean, just
ironing boards.
I've seen that. Very professional.
Can I say something? There is a Facebook marketer called John Loomer. He's really brilliant. He does a lot of training on Business Manager and Facebook ads. I remember when John only started doing his videos, and I then turned to my husband and said, how can somebody do videos from their bedroom? It was such a turn off. At that stage, we didn't have that much of this going on, but he actually I could see his old Snickers on the top of your wardrobe. It was exactly that. It was, and he was a big name already then, so this is so funny. Go on.
Absolutely. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, big names do it wrong also. They get it wrong. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. I remember I was watching somebody he was a business strategist, and he was going on and on and on about success and how he'd made so many figures. And I was like, I just couldn't stop looking at his laundry. It was like, you're speaking about success, but I don't see it anywhere. It's not that I don't believe you, but I just don't see it. So that's the thing, your message and what you show your audience needs to match. If not, there's a miscommunication there. So that's people who are not aware of their backdrop. And then people who are aware of the backdrops, usually I think probably the most common mistake I see is they're not branding it. Maybe they are trying to have a tidy or a neat backdrop or something, even a plain wall, but they're actually not branding it. And that's a huge mistake, because your online visibility, and you are the visibility expert, needs to be cohesive. So if you have a beautiful website, if you're paying attention to your posts and you're making an effort to have them branded, then when you do video, you certainly have to do the same thing. So that's another thing. People don't usually brand them. Another mistake I see people making is they use tiny props. So the thing with tiny props is they're perfectly fine to use in your workspace. But when you see them on video, like when people have like a tiny figure, whoever's watching is going to be trying to figure out what it is, because they're just, and they're going to be so distracted that they're not actually going to be listening to the message.
I'm going to reevaluate what's on that shelf up there.
Those are okay.
That's a lucky cat. It's a Japanese lucky cat. I can't remove it. It's bringing me luck. So for those who are still wondering,
you see what it is, so that's fine. It's not distracting, But I mean, like tiny little figures that you can't really make out what they are. So it's really distracting.
I agree with that. I found myself as well sometimes looking at a video, and instead of actually listening, and my brain is a easily distracted brain, so I'd be looking at something and that's it. I'm already not listening,
Exactly.
And sometimes it's even jewelry. I'd be like, "Ooh, that's a nice necklace." That's it, gone. Whatever they're saying is going over my head. I'm looking at the goodies.
Exactly. That's why it has to match. It has to be like the perfect overlay, the perfect complement. It cannot be distracting. It has to be exactly matching, because if not, it's going to be distracting.
And it's going to destroy opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So it's a great support. It's actual physical support, but it's also marketing support, but only if you're doing it right. If not, it can completely break your message, and your audience would be like, ooh, so confused, and you'll probably lose them halfway through. So
that's so true, because it's as I said, for example, about John Loomer, and you know what happened? This is what I didn't say. I stopped following him after that. And I was reading all his blogs, and we're talking about 2013 maybe. And I couldn't believe how, I actually, now looking back, I stopped him after those couple of videos that I saw with those Snickers on top of the wardrobe that I still see it, I still remember them. So it can transform your business, but it can also destroy your business. And of course, the amount of that, what you sometimes need to, a lot of people are afraid of hassle. I know a lot of people like, this is extra hassle, I need to do this. And it was a little bit, I was like this with my yellow wall, and I've resorted to child exploitation. My daughter did this while she was on her break from the university, and I actually felt like I tried to help her, and then I said, no, I'm too old and too unfit, and she enjoys painting, so I literally just came in every half an hour and said, well, that's a great job, another layer perhaps, and she did this in a couple of days, couple of takes, and I'm actually now delighted. We're coming into this room, we all like hanging out in this room now. It's such a lovely and welcoming space. But you know what else? It has also become a creative space. Like I actually have created videos for my program since the wall has been repainted with so much joy. And it just keeps flowing. Yes. It's
so important. People don't realize. When I speak about this, I see some of the faces, and you see people thinking, oh, yes, of course, you change the color of the wall and you're going to become this superhero. Well, it works like magic because it's all about mood creating. And especially like my approach to design is I never start with colors. Like, what color would you like your curtains to be? I never start there. It's what do you need? How do you need to feel in that space? And depending on what you need, then you create around it. Obviously, you need to follow your client's style and you need to maybe guide them or not. It depends on the client. Some clients don't need any guidance. But you always need to start from the mood, and especially in a working area, working space. Because, your business is going to depend on that.
And of course, yeah.
Feeling well, if you're not feeling 100% well in a space, it's because there's something off. It could be anything. It could be the lighting, the colors, the temperature, the scent. It could be anything, but there's something wrong. You need to feel 100% well in your space. Always.
I also think when you're starting, a lot of people who are starting, and let's say they aim at recruiting maybe high-end clients, they're all saying, oh, how can I work with a high-end? Well, this is also going to determine, as Melanie earlier said, does it say success? Does it say serenity and peace and happiness and being happy with who you are? Or does it say chaos and SOS or something drastic like that? Because some backgrounds really do. And I notice people, and some of the successful people, maybe not like at Tony Robbins level, but somebody who is growing, and you can see them growing, they're so super successful. And if you go back to their older videos, you can see how the backdrop is growing with them. Yes, then of course there is another level then when they've grown, and of course they're still continuing, but they're already now, they don't need that. They already have the vibe, the reputation, and people know that they're going to take them from A to B. But when nobody knows you, before you build that audience, that judging you by the cover is still going to apply 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we are visual, and we will easily remember visuals. Maybe not every detail, it depends on the type of person you are, but you will remember visuals in general, but you will never remember a name, and you will hardly remember a face. So when people are scrolling down their feed, you need to make it easy for them. They need to immediately recognize you and know that they want to stop and watch you. Because if you're not making your video stand out, if you're not doing that, people are just going to scroll down. And it's probably not fair, but it's the way it is. If you don't see a professional looking backdrop, you're thinking, this person cannot help me. They can't even get their backdrop right.
That is true in a way. I really believe that, and it's not that even I've experienced it on receiving end, but I know how I judge people. I really do, and the Snickers or something like that just puts me off completely, because this is kind of like a negligence as well. If you neglect to not to pay attention to that, how can you help me and look after have attention to detail and what I need? So that's kind of one thing. Okay, so I'm gonna just change a tiny bit, change the subject. I want to ask you about your audience and how do you serve your audience, because I know that you're featured in some pretty impressive media sometimes with your, like, that's what I say. Tell me this in your own words.
Yeah, it's true. I am featured, but I never asked for that. Just
own it, woman. You deserve it, 100%.
Yeah, well, I love human relationships. You know, what I love about social media is, well, two things. One thing is that I can really help more people than doing locally. And another one is when you create those relationships. I mean, social media is not about just a one-way communication. You know, you need the feedback, you need the input of your audience. And my favorite way to create content is always after asking. I ask my audience, what do you need at this point? Sometimes they don't even know. So you do need to help them and guide them. But other times they do. They have very clear struggles. And so what's the point of me just speaking about whatever I like instead of speaking about their real problems and their real struggles?
That is very interesting that I actually have a section in my course where I teach people how to collect that information, and then creating videos and knowing how to talk to your audience is great, because, you know, you can see the trends when you're collecting this, when you're asking questions and you're recording the answers, and you can definitely see the traits. So in the 50 answers, you will see what you need to talk about, and it's endless, you know, but you are serving your audience, you know, so this is great that you mentioned that.
And that's it. That's what it's about. I mean, it is about serving your audience. I mean, it's not about you. I have this, it took me ages to start doing video. And I'm confessing this in front of the visibility queen.
I can't believe this, because you're so natural, and we've done some share-downs together, and you know, it's no problem.
Yeah, it's still a bit hard for me, but I am enjoying it now. But it took me ages. I mean, my first video was in 2015, and I just couldn't get round to doing another video till 2016, a whole year afterwards. I just panicked. I'm terribly shy. So I hate video, I hate photos, I hate anything.
You know what's funny? And this is where that mindset, to me, that's where that bubble bursts. People who say, I hate video, I hate photographs, but you are still meeting people and you look exactly the same. It's just that you're so critical of yourself, you don't want to look at yourself, but other people actually just see you as you are. So it makes no difference. And especially if it's such a great medium to actually show the world who you are, just the way you are, you know, because even photographs are deceiving, because you can pose, you can Photoshop them, but the video is where everything comes out, all the truth, and I love it. That's why I love it. But I also can't fake, so for me, it's what you see is what you get with everything. So you know, it's such a great medium. Then you truly do connect, and I find that you are very natural on video. You know, I would have never thought. I thought maybe you're just doing it regularly, but as I said, you know, I think it has something to do with us being perfectionists. Anything, yes. I'm even considering maybe I should do a course on confidence, building confidence, going on video, because all of the things are just a limiting belief, and if you only start, that's the secret. If you only start and you start doing it, let's say every day, not just, you know, once and then you didn't commit to the next, or no. Mm-hmm. If you do it over a period of, let's say, even 2 weeks, by the end of 2 weeks, it's your second nature. It's like driving. It's second nature. So
yeah, it is all about practicing. Yes.
What social media?
It's the only way. It's the only way to get over your fear. It's just do it.
Oh yes. And you know, I was talking to my husband earlier today. Our daughter is in the university this year, first year. But a year ago, she was just finishing school. And I said to him, you know how impossible it seemed. How we live in rural Ireland. She has to travel to Dublin to Trinity College. That's a lot of commuting and a lot of hassle, because we don't even live in a walking distance to a bus stop. So there's a lot of things that we thought, oh my God, how are we going to manage this at all? Like, how are we going to manage the whole thing? And it's just now so natural, and we don't even ever discuss this. This is just, it's not a big deal, but it was huge. And and I said to him this thing, I said, it's the same thing with doing anything, taking the next step in your business, doing sales calls, or, promoting, marketing, it's actually all here. You're just not doing it enough, so you are not comfortable with it. So if you feel resistance, you just need to keep doing it.
Yes. Yes, it's so true. It's so true. Yeah. And it's hard, but you'll get there. I mean, if I'm able to do it, anyone can.
Well, there is an eye opener for you. What is it now? January. So last year in January, I did not do live videos. Wow. And now I'm a visibility strategist, because I was always visible, but I was never, just actually doing live videos and doing like daily videos and having courses and everything, because it was something that you just need to start doing it, and then now it's literally like second nature. In fact, I think I'm addicted to this. I just want to if I was waking up with makeup on, I'd be doing it the first thing in the morning. That's just how it is, so sometimes I have slow mornings and it stops me from going and taking over the world. So that's just what happens. Tell me, Melanie.
You're doing pretty well.
Tell me about, like, in terms of social media and your audience. So what is your focus? Like, where do you find that you get the best audience? What social media network? Would it be Facebook, or are you somewhere else?
I actually prefer, yes, I think my audience is basically on Facebook and Instagram. And that's actually where I feel more comfortable. So I guess it has to do with that too. But I love Facebook because it's visual, but you also have the text option, so you can really go deep into topics. And Instagram is just very visual, so it's great for my work.
That's true.
So those two would be the most.
Are you active on Instagram?
Yes, absolutely.
In terms of client acquisition, what network do you think is more fruitful for you?
Facebook.
That
would be Facebook, yes. I think Instagram has worked very well for me for press features, collaborations. I mean, also clients, but it would be more press features and collaborations. And Facebook is actually where you can establish probably a closer relationship with people.
It's so interesting, because with in the light of the latest Facebook update that freaked every marketer in the world, but actually they shouldn't be freaked out, because Facebook is all about conversations, and Facebook has always been about conversations. They're just trying to reinforce it because it's just too much spam and fake news and all that, and brands actually who are not, it's just not engaging at all, I don't even like pages anymore. Unless I know somebody personally, or I know that somebody is so shit hot in what they're doing, I will like their page. So in terms of creating conversations, Facebook is so much easier than Instagram to me. Then LinkedIn is a little bit too stuffy, kind of. My husband says, "What are you talking to people on Facebook to? How are they entrepreneurs? They don't even wear suits." And I'm saying, well, have you seen Google recently or Facebook? They're all in t-shirts, put them in the suits, they'll look like LinkedIn. But this is the vibe, isn't it? It's the vibe, whichever vibe you dig yourself. I am probably as well. I'm finding Facebook is very easygoing. You can create relationships, and also I think you have control on Facebook as well, because with so many people around, you have to also protect your energy. There is some people, and 99.9% of people are lovely, and then you'll have a couple of people who just have no clue, and then they will try and ring you in the middle of the night, and you don't even know who they are. So the Facebook block option I really love. I don't even know if Instagram has that kind of thing, but it's a different way of communication, but you have a choice then to connect to people, and you have a choice to create your circle of people here, your true community, which is brilliant. And that's why I love groups, and I'm delighted that it's going to be, groups will be boosted, the reach will be boosted, and personal conversations will be boosted. Do you have a group, Melanie?
Yes, I do have a group.
Tell us more about your group. Where can we find you?
Okay, so the group is video backdrops, surprise, and branded workspaces. And what we do basically is it's a very interactive group. So I try to do lots of challenges, or maybe I take a week and we take a topic that's of interest to the audience, and we'll create little like daily tips to get them to improve their workspace, their backdrop. Yeah, it's a great place. I know I'm saying this myself, but it is.
Perfect. So backdrop, say it again, say the name again.
It's video backdrops and branded workspaces.
Perfect. You know, if you have clients coming into you on your location, it's the same thing as the backdrop. You really need to put a little bit of extra thought into how the clients are perceiving you. You know, so definitely Melanie would be a person. It's not just only videos. Just in case if you have a local kind of business or you see clients within your office.
That's actually how I started in interior design. I specialize in commercial design, so that's actually where that's why I do have a background in branding, in marketing, and I can put everything together. That's why, like, my backdrops are optimized because I put all those key elements in place. And yeah, it's basic. I mean, if you're doing face-to-face, any type of commercial transaction, you need to give your best impression. You know, I mean, we are visual and we do retain visual impressions. So a smile and a nice place is all you need.
Perfect. We have plenty now. I have plenty now. Thanks to Melanie. I'm so delighted. Okay, I'm going to ask you a final question. And so I want to know, first of all, for those people who don't know, actually, Melanie lives in a country of my dreams. I'm sure I don't live in a country of her dreams, but she does live in a country of my dreams, which is, of course, Spain.
Well, funnily enough, my grandfather was Irish, and I've never been to Ireland, sorry.
I'm not from Ireland, so I wouldn't even give a flying banana. I'm from Estonia. And you definitely should check out Tallinn in Estonia if you have a nice weekend to spare. It's absolutely beautiful. It's like fairy tale city. But yeah, so tell me, what's your how long you've been living in Spain?
For ages. Right now, like half my life, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm half British, half Spanish, so we've always done like the two, 50-50 more or less, or we used to come here on holiday. But now as an adult, I settled here, a long time ago. I mean, I don't even know.
What is your favorite food?
Okay, it's a cliche, but obviously paella.
Well, it depends, because there's different paellas, and different regions are cooking them differently too. So, it could be all different. Well, I had to know because someday I'm going to visit you and you'll have to take me somewhere.
There's a huge debate in Spain. People were so offended when Jamie Oliver said paella had chorizo. That was like
I remember. Debate. The huge debate.
Oh my goodness, there was nothing more important than that. Paella has no chorizo.
No, but we need to know these things. It's like that, carbonara pasta doesn't exist in real Italy. You need to know these things. Well, look, this is brilliant now. I know what we're eating when we're going out when I'm in Madrid. So I am delighted. Melanie, thank you so much for coming to my show tonight. I really enjoyed having you, and especially that, as I said, you're the queen of the backdrops. I am so happy with my backdrop. And it's been an amazing creative space. Thanks to you. So guys, if you have any questions for Melanie, please drop them in the comments, and she'll come back to this video and reply. And we will see. Well, you can find Melanie in her group, and I will be here tomorrow actually with another fantastic guest. I'm not actually going to say who my guest is. I like kind of keep it, but it's another Peri 10K-er. Peri 10K is where we both, I'm not going to know too much about it. If you want to know about Peri 10K, go to my personal timeline and watch some share-tons. Okay guys, bye, have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye Melanie, bye.